You want to do some training for bouldering strength at home and you're looking for a training plan you can follow, or maybe you're just looking for some exercises you can integrate into your current training plan? Well, then this video can be helpful for you, so stay tuned. In this video, I'm showing you some of the exercises of the Catalyst Climbing at Home training plan developed by Louis Parkinson. I will put a link to this training plan into the description. As Catalyst Climbing sells this program, I'm not showing you all of the exercises and I'm not presenting all the details because this wouldn't be fair to Catalyst Climbing. So to compensate a bit for this, I will provide links to some further videos which are freely available, and I will also show some other exercises which fit into the context. But I will mark it in a video so that it's clear what is part of the program and what is not. So the plan follows a 3-day cycle. On day 1, you start with a warm-up consisting of cardio warm-up, dynamic stretching and fingerboard warm-up. Then you continue with finger strength exercises, core, antagonist workout and stretching at the end. Day 2 is pretty much the same, just that instead of the finger strength exercises, you're doing arm strength exercises. And moreover, the exercises you're performing for core and antagonist training, they vary a bit, so these are not the same. And on day 3, you rest. And this is basically it. So you can repeat this cycle as often as you want and stay in good shape. So far I've always been speaking about the training plan, but actually Catalyst Climbing sends you 2 different training plans, a Hero plan and a Titan plan. Both follow the same structure as previously described. It's just that in general the exercises in the Titan plan, they are a bit harder, they are a bit more advanced. So as I'm not that strong yet, I will show you some of the exercises from the Hero plan. But of course, it's up to you. You can also mix Hero plan and Titan plan. Nobody stops you from doing this. So this is really just up to you. So this means it doesn't matter too much whether you're not that experienced at all or whether you're already quite advanced. You will find challenging exercises, which is a good thing. Yeah, and moreover, you receive a PDF, and in this PDF, each exercise is described in detail, also with some hints on how you could make it easier or harder. Yeah, and furthermore, it links to videos where Louis is showing these exercises and also giving you some additional input. So that's quite nice. So you might be wondering what you need in order to be able to do the program, and that's likely not a lot. So first and foremost, of course, you need the fingerboard. They are using the Beastmaker 1000, so do I, but you can also use some other fingerboard. If you're wondering what this little thing is, this is the rock-based flex, and I just recently did a video about it. I will link it here and in the description if you're interested. So just put it aside for now. Apart from that, you need something to lay onto. So for instance, a yoga mat. If you don't have one, if you have a thick carpet or a crash pad, that's also absolutely fine. I would say this is the bare minimum you need to have. Apart from that, if you want to make some exercises a bit harder, you should have some weights and something to attach these weights to. So for instance, a dip belt, but you can also use a climbing harness, a weight vest or some other stuff, whatever you prefer. And then you should have, in best case, something to use as an assistance system, so maybe a kind of strap, a rope, ideally a pulley system, but yeah, if you don't have this, something just like a plain towel is also working. I'm currently using this one because the equipment for my pulley system hasn't arrived yet. And yeah, that's basically all. In the video we'll also be using a resistance band, but just because I like to use it for warm-up, you don't necessarily need it. Yeah, so that's it. And apart from that, yes, one further thing I want to mention. I'm not a certified or professional coach, so I will try my best to do the exercises in an intended way, but of course I cannot guarantee to you that I'm doing all the exercises properly. I will try my best though. So I think enough talking, without further ado, let's jump into it. So I will now start with the warm-up. Warm-up is not only important to reduce the likelihood of an injury, but it's also you will just feel stronger and fitter afterwards. So as mentioned before, in the program the warm-up is split into 3 parts. It's cardio warm-up, dynamic stretching and fingerboard warm-up. I won't show any exercises for the cardio warm-up now, just to reduce the length of the video a bit. But what you could do is you could go out for a run, do some jumping jacks, do some jump roping, jump back and forth, or do stuff like this to get the blood flow through your extremities. And yeah, so I'm now actually start with the dynamic stretching, and in the program Louis presents exercises for the whole body. But I will now focus on the shoulders, on the wrists and the fingers or the forearms. So let's jump into it. The first exercise are the shoulder shrugs. So I will just go here so that you can see it better. And I will start with 5 slow shoulder shrugs backwards. So if you want, you can really exaggerate the movement a bit. and engage the shoulders. So that's 3, 4, 5. And now quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the different direction. Forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next exercise I'm going to show is for the wrists, so we're doing wrist circles. So we're doing slowly again. 2, 3, 4, 5. And quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now different direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the next one, I really like this one, and actually I already did it many times before. It's the finger clenches. So you can really clench the fingers. It's not just like I'm doing it like a bit slowly and that, but really push. 3, 4, 5. And now quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the quick ones, maybe you can imagine that you're going for a dime or something like this. If you have something like this, like these balls, like I think it's an anti-stress ball or something like this, of course you can also use them. When I go to the gym, usually I take such a ball because it feels a bit more natural. And now also the antagonist, the extenders. So first slowly again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't need it, but if you have a resistance band, you can also use this for the exercise. So you can put your fingers like this, for instance, and then push them out. Like this. Usually I'm using it with a resistance band, or I mean, if you also have such a gadget like this, Sven, if you're watching, thanks, because it was a gift from Sven. And then you can of course also use these and then extend outward. It's basically the same movement, but just with the help of a little gadget. Yeah, and this is it what I wanted to show you from the program. There are 2 further exercises. I saw them in a video from Shauna Coxey, from at least first from Team Great Britain, then also just recently from Shauna's new channel. So in general, I really like to use resistance bands for warm-up. So the first one, I think the name is sword rows. I will look it up in Shauna's video. So you can go like this. I now have a yellow band, so not a lot of resistance, but of course you can vary. And then you keep your arms straight and go up. And I think what Shauna mentioned here is that the shoulder shouldn't go forward and that the arm should always be straight. And in the video she says, I think it was 10 repetitions and 3 sets of this. So you can do like this. If this is too light for you, then also you can just choose another resistance band. But actually I like to use the yellow one, the light one, because it's still just warm up. And then the other one, it's for the elbows. So you can have, you can fix it on the one side, for instance like this, and then you go out. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think, I'm not an expert, but I think here the elbow shouldn't be like that you're doing something like this, but you can try to fix it like this. Yeah. I will put the link to the previously mentioned videos from Shauna to the description down below, so definitely worth watching. Yeah, that's it for the warm-up, at least for the dynamic stretching warm-up. Before I forget it, I will also put links to some other videos into the description down below, namely at least 2 videos from lattice training for warm-up. In general, I can really recommend the channel. They produce very good videos, so subscribe if you haven't already. Then one where Eric Carlson describes his warm-up routine, and then 2 other videos from Louis where he shows some parts for the warm-up with cardio warm-up and also the other parts. So they're definitely worth checking them out. So now after the dynamic stretching, I will continue with the fingerboard warm-up. And here I'm going to show you 2 exercises, and after this I will also present some exercises which are not mentioned in the program. So let's get started. The first one are the shoulder shrugs, here on the jogs for instance. So here, then you shrug 5 times. 3, 2, 5. So it's important you don't really do like a real pull-up or something, but you just shrug upwards with your shoulders. So really like this, and keep the arms straight. Then you're expected to rest, but I will just continue to make it a bit easier. Then for instance on the 40 mil edge, 5 pull-ups. 1, 2, 'If you cannot do pull-ups with the body weight, then maybe you can just take a chair, or if you have some kind of assistance system, like a pulley system, of course you can just go ahead and use something like this. Yeah, so these are the 2 exercises I wanted to show you, which I mentioned in the plan. And next I'm going to show you 2 other exercises I saw in a video from lattice training, I will think as usual. I will just get the stuff and then come back. So here the first one I want to show you are the jump pull-ups. In the video I think they mention 15 repetitions, but of course you can just do a few repetitions. So you can go with 1 foot on the chair and then use the chair to jump up to do the pull-up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will just do 5 for demonstration purposes. Of course, by the amount of support you get from jumping up or from your other leg, you can control a bit on how hard it is. And here then, we'll just get this one away. And apart from that, they also mentioned that they start with a protocol which is like hanging 3 seconds, resting 7 seconds, and I think 3 times in a row. And if I remember correctly, with a foot on the ground to just reduce the load, because it's still just warm up. So 1, 2, 3, and I would rest. 1, 2, 3, and you can then imagine you can do something like this again. So I will link the video, you should check it out, definitely some good exercises, and yeah, I think that's basically already it for the warm-up, what I wanted to show you. Yeah, just make sure that if you're having a session with the finger strength day, then of course you also need to warm up your fingers, and especially important if you later on add some weight. So I will show the finger strength exercises next, but if you're performing these with additional weight, it's important not to jump straight to your max weight you want to train with, but gradually increase the difficulty and also the weight. Also was also mentioned in one of the lattice videos. So for instance, if you're doing with 20 kilos added, not me, but if you're strong enough, then maybe you can start with 5 kilo, 10 kilo, 15 kilo, 20 kilo, something like this, so that you genuinely gradually increase the difficulty and not just BAM, go for it. Yeah, that's it. And before I forget, of course you can also do the same on, for instance, this edge here in the Beastmaker with the 3 second hang, 7 seconds rest, and also later on the 7 second hang, 3 seconds rest, what is mentioned in the lattice video. Of course the same goes, for instance, for half crimping here, so it's a better warm up for the fingers. It's time for the real fun. Today is finger strength day in the cycle, which means I will perform several hangs on this one here. In general, the program proposes to use the half crimp. So if you don't know what it is, it's like that you have a 90-degree angle, contrast to the open crimp, which is where it's really open, and full crimp, something like this. It's hard to demonstrate if you're not on a hangboard. And they also propose to use different grip types and different angles. I will focus on 3 different exercises now in this video. And what I can already tell is that when I started using different angles, it's really made a big difference to me. Because I could really feel that I never trained in different angles before, but it makes sense because in the gym or on the rock, we are not always in the same position. So it's good to integrate some or to bring some variety into your training. Let's get started. So the first one I'm going to show you is the half crimp, 4-finger half crimp on this one with 90-degree angle. So I don't know whether I'm the only one, but the 90-degree one definitely feels way harder than the just slightly engaged position to me. So I'd be interested, how is it for you? Is it the same, or I'm the only one? But it's good. It's good to integrate into training, as pointed out before. So it's definitely fun. So now I need to rest. What I forgot to mention before is the goal is to hang for 7 seconds and then you rest for 2 minutes. If you cannot hang for 7 seconds, then you should either reduce the weight. If you haven't added any weight, then maybe you can use some kind of assistance system, so pulley system or something else, to reduce the weight a bit. So my resting time is nearly over, so I need to get prepared for the full log. As I said before, definitely harder than this slightly engaged position. Yeah. So now I'll rest, perform the other exercises, and then I will come back to the slopey one. Now I'll try my luck with the slopers. Okay, as you could see, I was slipping a bit, but I think it was something like a 6-second hang. The slopers really kicking my ass. If you're also having issues with the slopers, there's a good video from Manny the Monkey, I will link it. Because at the beginning I could, I think, barely hold myself here for maybe 1 second or half a second. And what I'm doing now and what he suggested is that you can really do some kind of half crimp on the sloper. So not just put your hand here and hope for the best, but really, you know, push like the front part and like crimp the sloper. And by means of this, at least I can hang for some seconds. Usually it's working something like 5 to 7 seconds, which is already a good improvement compared to the beginning. Yeah. But in general, I can just say slope exercises are not easy, but it's good to work on your weaknesses. So I will try to demonstrate it now from this angle. Slipping again, but more or less 7 seconds. So I hope you could see what I meant here. That you can like press like this and not just hold, but really like this a bit. At least for me, that's working a bit better. So this is it for the finger strength training. As I pointed out at the beginning, you can really play around a lot. So really play around with the different grip types, but with different angles, and just by means of this, you really get a multitude of different exercises you can perform to increase your finger strength. And in general, as also for the other exercise, I think it's good to get in some variation and not just train this one and the same thing. Let's say always open crimp, open forefinger crimp, slightly engaged this for a month, but really to get in some variation. So this was it for the first part of the video. In the next part I will show you the arm strength, core, antagonist and stretching exercises. And yeah, I will also give a more detailed conclusion on what I think about the program. But what I can tell you already now is that the price you have to pay is really more than reasonable, and you get a very good value for it. But as I said, a more detailed conclusion in the next part. So thanks a lot for watching. If you liked it, please leave a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. We're always happy about that. And just leave your feedback on what you think about it. And yeah, stay healthy and check out the second part. Thanks.